You subscribe to Pando? That's so hot.
Here we go. All right, first of all, guys, let me tell you.
You subscribe to Pando?
Oh, let me
That's
apologize.
so
Thanks for the
hot.
sub. I'm gonna mute the thingy sounds though, because it's gonna be shit in the recording. Usually it's 2100, but I kind of want to be a little bit more flexible, obviously, right? For Hanzo, it would have been super late if we did 2100, and it's already late right now, right? So I guess everyone can understand that part. And then also, I do believe, like, we did always the 2 hour thing, and it kind of worked out well. But I think I'm gonna go with 1.5 hours as a sweet spot. We'll see. Right? It's a learning experience, all this stuff. I'm kind of new to podcasting and shit, so let's see. Maybe I'll go back to 2 hours. It always depends. I'm not gonna break up a good conversation to make it shorter or whatever. So let me introduce you guys to Hanzo. One of actually Shiny Boy just says it. Tell Hanzo I miss him. One of the few FCs I got to work with, where I was like pleasantly surprised. Was super easy to work with. Most people will probably know him as the leader and main FC for Siberian Squads, who used to be in Dead Coalition, and I believe it also had a time zone reason, but you kinda were the main. You became the main coalition FC for that entire war or conflict that was going on with PanFam in Tina and what's the other region again?
I think Tinal branch. Maybe the
yeah, Tina branch and that corner, right? So that's where most people got to know Sip Squad and Hanzo. And I remember that one time we had that one dreadball that I remember. We showed up there. That was before the whole thing escalated. There was still like some fights here, some fights there. And then we showed up to help you guys. And that was the first time we worked together. Maybe not the first time, but the first time on a proper timer or so, right? So I was on comms with you guys. And usually when I'm like, I was in Stuttgart, and usually when I tell people like, all right, you have to be aggressive with these guys, can make them warp, make them thingies like, let's do this and this. And then usually people, or like, I don't want to say usually people are like that, but a lot of times an FC is going to be a little bit more passive and conservative and stuff, and he feels like, oh no, let's be careful and stuff. but I remember you just going for it, and I'm like, fuck yeah, let's do this. And we had a good time there, and then dreads everywhere, and like things escalated. It was good fun, right? And yeah, and I would say, like, I think if I had to describe your FC style, I would put aggressive definitely somewhere up there as one of your main attributes, right? Like you have an aggressive FC style, I would say. You're like, you're going for it, which I like.
Yes, okay, sorry.
No, go. What do you want to say?
We meet with you first time when initiative coming to branch to help us in war with Panfam. But I remember when you with your famous Stuka coming to our space and tackle our oracles, and I always tried to fuck your Stukas and kill them. I remember one thing when I form fleet, you tackle my ship, then you micro jump drive my ship, stay me alone. So it was really funny. Fight with you is always funny.
That is true. You know what though? I usually don't pay too much attention to hostiles. That can be a good thing, but I think it can also be a bad thing intel-wise, right? That you know, sometimes I don't even look at these scans all that much, right? And then also I don't know who the FC is I'm fighting, right? So when I hunt, for example, I don't know necessarily that it was you defending them for GOTG, for example. A lot of times, not always, but a lot of times. But yeah, I think it might just be a disadvantage, to be quite honest. Like I should pay more attention, like, and then maybe I could predict certain behavior a little bit more. I don't know, but maybe that would just mean I'm busy thinking about stuff.
Yes, when you lead something big or do something big, it's very difficult to check all the things. Check the scan, check an MFC, and you need good team to do. You can't do it alone, I think.
Yeah, and I think that's also what you guys had in that conflict. You guys had a team, and it worked, but I always felt like, I don't want to say you were left alone with the left alone is the wrong word, maybe people formed, but I mean, you were basically carrying the team, right? That's what, at least Shines and I, we felt like that. And when it came to the decision that we stage up there, even, right, which was, it's not an easy thing to simply pack up an alliance and then, or not pack it up completely, but, you know, grab a couple dudes, like, or grab everyone and then put at least subcaps into a thing. But we also moved Titans later. The main reason for the decision was actually that we worked with you before, and we knew that you would you don't take it for granted that we come up there and help, and you're willing to, you know, give it a good shot, right? So you're willing to put in that work, and you know, so that's, I mean, I think I told you at the time too, right, that you were actually the main reason why we felt like we can do this, right? And
yes.
then.
But when you come in, Panfarm just changed timers to US time zone, as you remember, and we really hasn't got good fights. So the war was really boring. I think this war was boring.
Yeah, I think it wasn't a great thing. The only thing that we actually instantly, what do you call it, achieved was that they changed all their timers, and they didn't do much in Euro time zone anymore, right? Because before we deployed, they would like dominate the entire Euro time zone, so their progress was completely slowed down. But I feel like that escalated the whole conflict too. So I don't know if it was actually at the end, if that was actually a good move or not. I think you know, it was a lot of work for us for you know, effects that maybe the players wouldn't see right away. So it was like, you know, it was a questionable move at the end, but I think it mattered all that much.
It was time zone war. We dominate in Australian time zone, we dominate in Chinese time zone, and we can't really do anything big in Euro time zone, and we can't form in US time zone. So at first stage of the war, they dominate in Euro time zone and US time zone, and when you come in, they only dominate in US time zone. And they tank all own space with US time zone, like we tank all our space in Australian time zone.
Yeah. Time zone wars, huh?
Yes, this is Yeva.
Yeah, but how, after that, you guys decided you would join Legacy, right? So how are you guys doing right now? Like, are you guys recovering? Or
Yes, we recover, but some pilots has rest and go into log off. All pilots need rest because we were in war during the last 7 or 8 months. CTA every day, some ops every day, and fights. So pilots just go to offline now. Some pilots, some part of pilots.
yeah, and so I believe one of the main reasons for like the whole what do you call for the end of that conflict was also that you felt like you were slowly getting burned out, right? Or were you close
Yes,
to burning out, or were you completely burned out, or what was happening?
I think I was close to burn out because I lead too much CTAs during all this war. In all time zone, in Australian time zone, in my own time zone, in US time zone, I wake up earlier and start leading CTAs. So yes, at the end of the conflict, I feel myself that I start burn out.
But then for people that I think most line members don't understand really, right? Like what what is like what works to like burn people out, like FCs and stuff like this. I think most people in fleet they don't see that really, right?
Yes, they didn't see this work that fleet commander doing. We need prepare ops. We need think when we do something. We need discuss the plans after ops. So it is really big job, like real life job.
Yeah. And what do you think? Like, what's the most um what's the worst aspect that burns people out, or what was it for you? Right? It might just be different for everyone.
I think it is time because I need fuck my real life to lead CTA in Yeva, in if, and it is really big problem for me.
It's like simply time, not even like the energy or like frustrations or anything. It's just time.
Yes, it is time. I think main problem is time.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same for me, right? And then like I've been like close to burnout a couple times, right? Where I think like, okay, like this is getting too much, and then I just step back. And luckily, I'm in a like with an FC team where it's not a big deal if you just step back and you just let other people handle it, right? Like nobody questions it or like says like, oh, you have to, or like any of that stuff, right? But in your case, like you're also like you're the number one guy in SIP squad, so you feel that responsibility, right? And you want to, or like you can't just step away. You know what I mean? Like you didn't have that option, right?
Yes, I know, because if I go to Logov, the alliance maybe will die. Or maybe not, I don't know. I don't want to check.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of people counting on you, right? How many people do you have at the moment? Like, what does SIP squad have?
I think we have near 200, 300 real life men. Real men. Real. But some of them go to Logov, as I said. They need some rest.
Yeah, which is understandable. And
Yes,
hmm? Yeah, there's a
situation in the world some strange now. So pilots just hasn't got enough time to play in the game.
yeah, and real life, like maybe what about the corona thing? Like, is it a big thing, a big deal, like in your area or like in general? I'm not sure. Are all your guys actually from Siberia, or are
No, no,
they?
no. No, now we has got one Australian corp, Anzac. It is Sirioni FC. Maybe you remember him. We has got some German corp, German speaking corp, and we has got some corp from from Euro time zone, from our country.
Oh, all right. But like in your area, is everyone in quarantine, or like did you notice any difference in people logging in and off and stuff?
Yes, in April we has got big quarantine in Russia, so we has got really many players online, and now we have got less players because the quarantine's out, and people start working, people start do own stuff.
All right. So when you moved to Legacy, what was the decision? Why did you move to Legacy, and why did you not move, for example, Imperium, or why did you not move and do something completely on your own? Actually, the answer for that I can probably guess. We just talked about like a little bit of the burnout thing. That's
Yes,
probably
we
like do your own
discuss
things too much, right?
with you when I take this decision. I discuss with Dark Chinese. I discuss with many guys why we go to Legacy, because Legacy make better offer for us than Imperium.
Maybe explain, like, for people that are listening, how does like a change like that go about? Like, how do you, like, what do you ask for? What do you, like, what are the offers usually? Like, kind of, what's the procedure?
Different men coming to you and said, I won't use it. Your aliens was in our coalition. We can offer you this, and some guys from NC do it. Some guys from Horde do it. Legacy do it. Imperium do it. Some low sec guys do it. So the Legacy offer was the best offer, and we chose it because we really need to save our aliens. We really need to have some rest.
But like, when it comes to offers like that, like, what is the main thing you were looking for at the time? Like, were you looking for like ISK? Were you looking for just safe space? Were you looking for like a good content spot or whatever? Like, what was the number one thing you were looking for?
At this moment, we try to find the better spot to relax and have some rest. Make some ISK that pilots can make some ISK.
Yeah.
That it is not the border or near the war, some war area.
And then
So the main things was relax for aliens and rebuild aliens, because many guys join us, some corps join us, so we need time. We just need time.
so all you wanted to do after that is like head to a quiet pocket, just build up your infrastructure, do a little bit of
Build-
empire building, regroup, relax.
Yes, regroup and relax and build our aliens. Because the war was long and we have many problems. We have many problems in aliens and we need to fix them.
And then did you take a little bit of a break? Because I didn't see anything from you guys, which was expected, right? You, like you said, you wanted to relax. But did you personally then like move everyone in and then take a little bit of a break, or what did you do?
Yes, we move into Tenerife and we take little break, and now we try do something interesting. Like we shoot fraternity in course, they rating in system OSY. We kill all structures. We try to form for some South timers against Panfam, and now we think about some deployment in the end of the May.
Oh, you think
Find new
about a deployment?
Yes, we discuss a deployment and we see how it looks next some weeks, because maybe some big war started, you know it.
Oh, is that a big war I might not know about? Hey, you're not deploying to Fountain, right?
Where?
I said you're not deploying to Fountain, are you?
No, 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 no. I don't want to shoot you.
Well, you never know. You never know. And then, so you took the break, but then also, so what was it that you, when you knew like this level of commitment, you wouldn't be able to, keep that going for like ever, right? Like when did you decide like, okay, this is too much? Because I know like there was that moment where like Shines and I actually talked all the time during that period, of course. And Shines kept saying like Hanzo's close to like being burned out, right? So time is running out, right? That's what we felt like. And then I think at some point we reached that time. So what was it for you? Like when did you say, okay, it's too much at this point?
I think it was time when our aliens lose all space, lose all structures, we lose branch. All aliens in this game lose something. They lose space, they lose all, but for us it was first time. So it was big difficult problem with the moral of aliens. We live here 2 years and now we must move out, now we lose all. And some of our allies from coalition said, okay, we join Panfarm or okay, we join Imperium.
And you were just not ready for that yet, huh? Like I remember when so the first alliance from your coalition that switched actually, or that left was how was this Chinese group called again? That's now in Imperium.
It is
Joan.
Caladrius Alliance, is they are Japanese, they not Chinese.
Oh no,
When
John Wang. He's Chinese. He's
yes,
Japanese.
drone one, no, drone one is Chinese and they join and
Ranger
Caladrius
Regiment.
yes, Ranger, Ranger and Dracarys they join Imperium and Caladrius join Horde.
Yeah, well, I was talking about. I meant Ranger Regiment. So then,
Yes, Ranger. Yes, Ranger moved to Delphi.
so there's a theory, right? So I'm just gonna be completely open here. Shines and I, we both wanted you guys to join us, right? We didn't know how
Yes,
to
I
make it
know.
happen.
I know. I know it because I know Shines helped me to save my Titans. He know it. I say him thank you much time. And honestly, was really want to join you too. But the situation in Aliens was difficult.
Yeah, I understand. I'm just putting that out there. Yeah, you already know, right? Obviously, I'm just putting that out there. Like we really wanted you guys to join us, but that was from Init perspective, right? There's another perspective which is Imperium, right? So
Yes, yes.
you like to get that deal, you have to talk to the Imperium, really, right? We were trying to like offer you whatever we could, but we can't offer you all that much because we don't have like control over the rest of Fountain, for example. That was my dream scenario. Was like, hey, what if we can get Hanzo and the boys into Fountain, right? And we share Fountain? But obviously, it is already given to Bastion and like all kinds of other people, and we were like, that was my dream scenario, right? Let's have Hanzo and the
Yes.
guys come over first, start with one constellation or so, and then have them like take something over and so on. But yeah, we couldn't get that deal done, really, right? Because
Yes.
Bastion didn't want to give up their space, and like it was complicated.
Honestly,
Yeah.
if check what happened in several months ago, maybe, only maybe, I don't know. I choose your option, but I don't. Maybe.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. So I was a little sad about it, but it is what it is, right?
Yep.
But you wanted to say something?
No.
And I know Shines was sad about it too, right? Because he started to like you. I like you guys.
Happens.
Yeah, it is what it is. But so to come back to that burnout thing, which I think is an underrated top, or not underrated, but quickly overlooked as a topic when it comes to FCs or even leadership stuff. I think the combo of both is very hard, right? If you lead and UFC, that's a very difficult spot, which you were in, because you have that responsibility. You have to keep the alliance going, and you have to FC, and then you don't have always control about the timers. You don't know what time it is. So it's a hardcore time commitment, and you can't really opt out, right? You can't just bail on it. And then, do you think there's any advice we can give people, maybe like other FCs, like what not to do, or do you? Or let's say it that way. If you could travel in time, and you could travel to like young Hanzo, what would you do different to avoid that? Maybe
Oh,
come out
I
of it.
won't meet him and said, "Do not play in this game. Don't do it. Don't play in this game."
Oh, that's a little hardcore, perhaps. But what if young Hanzo says, "Fuck you, I'm gonna play anyway"?
Yes. He will say it. The main things what I want to say to young FC is do not try to form to each timer. It burn you out very, very. It really burn you when you try to win each timer, when you try fight for each timer.
So pick your battles. Right?
Yep. Don't burn yourself. It's main things. Don't burn yourself.
Yeah, you know what? I think the biggest problem with with burning yourself out might be that you don't realize it until it's too late, right? That might be just the number one problem with it.
Yes, when you wake up in one day, you start understanding why I do this thing, why I play in this game, and why I spend too much time for all
I'm not sure.
this.
Sorry again.
Say you, sorry.
I'm not sure if I understood what you meant.
I mean, when you wake up,
And you don't know anymore. So you mean if you wake up and you don't know anymore why you do this?
yes. When you wake up and you don't understand why you do this again, every.
That's the first sign of burnout, or is it the last sign? Is it too late already? At that point, you
I
already
think
burned out.
it is too late. It means that you burn out.
Yeah, I think you might be right. But are there any? You think there's any signs where you're like, all right, you're doing it too much? I don't know. If I would have to think, maybe some. If you're alarm clocking hardcore, it's like 4 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, you can do it once a year, maybe, or once every couple of months. Right?
I think once in a couple months, not year.
Yeah. And so now you guys are in the, and you're doing all right. You're recovering, and now you're looking at a new campaign, or like a deployment. Do you guys?
Yes.
You learned a lot from that conflict, right? So you're gonna approach it a little bit differently. I mean, if you deploy, it's an aggressive deployment anyway. So I believe, like, as an attacker, you have more of a choice anyway, right?
When you deploy, you can choose when you form in, what you form in, and for what you form in. Because you aggressive, because you aggressor. You're not in defend situation when you need defend each.
Yeah, and that's a big advantage, right? Also burnout wise.
Yes.
And like, what's the SIP squad's like history before that conflict? I have seen you guys before, but like, have you guys been doing like big like wars and kind of stuff?
No, we were small corp from one time zone. It is Siberian time zone or same with Chinese time zone. and in one day we decide to start build own aliens. We create our small aliens from one corp and moving to Fontaine first. We fight with the culture aliens. When the culture decide to disband, we hope we can have some space, but
I remember.
some men come in and said, "No, the space will belong to initiative." It was you.
Exactly. I
Yes,
remember.
it,
I totally
it was
forgot
you.
about that. Yeah, we talked at the time. That's true.
Yes, it was you, and I said, "Okay," and start move to north. Poke sword, and sword give me some small space.
Yeah, you know
To
what? You know what? I remember that, and I remember me going to Bliss, who is the leader of Init, by the way, and saying, "Hey, can we have like one pocket for these guys? Because you guys, um, so you guys asked for one constellation, I believe, in Fountain, which was
yes, we need
it was
really
a really,
small pit.
but you were asking for a really good constellation, right?
Yes.
And then Bliss didn't want it. And by the time I came around with an offer for you guys for another constellation, I wanted you in the D4KU area that's right next to Iridia, which would be a perfect counter to LSH, right? So what in my vision, right, at the time, I have to say, like, I was FCing a lot, but I also did the whole rental management. So I'm doing I'm trying to get all these renters transferred that were culture before and all that stuff, right? So I was busy as shit there. And then in my vision, I had you guys maybe go to that constellation and shut down LSH completely, who were like harassing our space a little bit at the time. And
One
then
small problem. We was friendly with
LSH.
yes. In the time we was friendly with them. Now not. But in this time many years ago, yes, we
Yeah, you know what? We probably could have done even like if I would have known that at the time. I didn't know that at the time. I just thought, time zone works out, right? So LSH is Russian time zone, you guys are Russian time zone, and if we have like a good independent, like at the time you were small, right? It was just like a smaller corp. If we have a good independent group there that can just deal and shut down LSH on their own, I don't have to deal with this stuff then, right? So that was my thinking. If I would have known you guys are friendly, we could have made a deal with LSH even, right? That you are allowed to, build some stuff for them, stuff like this. I don't know. We could have, maybe worked something out. But I think the deal came along way too late. So you guys were already deciding to go up north and to
yes.
join
I
GGG.
think it will better to stay in Fontaine. Change everything and change the and now we have what we have. Who knows what happen if we stay in Fontaine?
Yeah. And you know what? We have a long history of actually giving like smaller corps a little bit of a shot at like growing and stuff like this. Like giving them a little space or whatever, right? Like for example, Cloud Ring, there's like smaller corps, like Velour Accords and all that stuff. We don't interfere with that kind of stuff too much. I wish that would have worked out at the time. And I didn't know you guys are gonna grow into like a real, like a bigger alliance like you did, right? Nobody saw
Honestly,
that really at the
no,
time.
no one know it. Me didn't want to grow up. I didn't want to really lead the big aliens, but this happened.
Yeah, you know what? I believe that the best leaders, they don't choose to lead. You know what I mean? They don't go and like, I want to be a leader. Like I don't want to or I wanna like be the number one guy and lead like 1,000 people or some shit. That's usually not the type that in the end actually gets to lead like big alliances and forms those like strong groups. It's usually the guy that like you just starts doing his own thing, enjoys it. People realize, and then over time it grows and grows and grows and grows, and then it becomes what it becomes. Um, that's what I believe, at least, right? Usually, people that are ego driven and push too hard to become that like big dude, right? Number one, like, you know, they want to
Yes.
be Mitani 2.0. They usually fail already at the beginning. They like, because the motivation is it's the wrong motivation. Like how are you gonna do this, right? And people can see right through that too, I believe. So it's
Be
better
honest,
to be
to be
honest.
honest, I am really prefer to lead fleet. I hate be alien CEO. I hate make some decision or do something like this.
I agree. Me too. I think that's probably. I think we got lucky with that because, like, let's say Shines, Bliss, and Bonga, and me, we all prefer that. And then if you split the whole alliance thing in 4, it's not all that much. You know what I mean? Sometimes Shines takes on like certain deployments, like the deployment north, for example, or the deployment, well, like another deployment. Like he just takes that on, and then he's the leader, right? And then he is kind of responsible for that, and that's a lot of pressure on him. And maybe another time, like the rage thing, like I would take that on, right? And then maybe another time, like for example, Syndicate, we had a campaign there, and Bliss had a lot of time. He took that on, right? So we split that up, and we don't have that one guy. So I think we got lucky with that. And it's hard on like alliances like yours, where it's only you, right? You have to lead these guys in their campaign.
Yes, you need to be strong leader. You need to make decision, different decision, maybe decision to which you really didn't like, but you need to do it.
And then there's convos.
And it is, I think, it is really difficult because, as I said, I prefer lead fleets, not make the decision, leadership decision.
And then there's convos left, right, and center, right?
Yep.
I mean, especially with your change from GTG to Legacy, I can only imagine. I was like 24/7 talking to people, right?
Yeah, it was fucking shit because I need to talk with everyone every day, every time, in all time. In US time zone, in Euro time zone, in my time zone, you talk every time with everyone.
And you know what?
Really matters.
Shines and I were talking, and I was almost involved in that whole thing, right? Trying to get you guys to us. But like I didn't combo you because I knew there's gonna be like so much shit like talking all the time. And Shines had to be careful too to not just fucking like overdo it, right? We tried our best. But I guess when it comes to diplomacy, we're probably not the best anyway. So you know, it's interesting, right?
Yeah, it's really interesting.
I mean, some people enjoy that.
But honestly, I didn't want to do it again. I didn't want to speak with too much men because everyone want different things and everyone tried to do that. You do the things what they want.
Yep.
And you need decide what will be better for you and your pilots.
And you always feel like, I mean, you probably always feel like everyone wants to manipulate you, right? And all they want is like you feel like you feel like a hot chick in a bar, right? All the dudes looking at you.
Said, I am very rich, ugly woman without husband. My husband is dead, and now I am really, I am ugly, but I am
rich as shit.
Yes.
And then you get offers all the time, and you know you can see right through it. You know what they want, and then you have to be careful. Oh my god. That's the best analogy, probably, yeah. But you chose Legacy. But
yes, finally we chose Legacy, yes.
Yeah. You know what? I think.
But still friendly with Init, as I know.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't been hunting you guys. You know what? That's also happened before, right? That we have wormholes close.
I still waiting when you come in to fuck my rolls.
Well,
I waited this last 2 or 3 months.
I'm checking the map all day, every day, and I know like 2PG in that corner, you know. I know you guys are mining there.
Yes, yes.
That's all right, you know. Maybe it's time to, you know, to visit you guys
To
again.
come in, yes, to come in and fuck my brokers.
But yeah, at the beginning, I'm not trying to be the nice guy. At the beginning, we definitely did say like, yeah, maybe. Come on, let's skip this area, right? It's like we weren't looking for it. Like if we jump out of a wormhole and one of our scouts says there's 10 rockets right here, and it's like one jump, like I wouldn't be able to say no. But luckily, you guys were on the ball, not having wormholes right into your system at the wrong time. So I never got into that situation.
Yep. I'm fine if you come in and kill Rorquals. It's okay. It's okay. It's just fucking pixels.
You know what? I have, like recently, not too long ago, I started looking at that pocket and at your, space, thinking, maybe we should. But I didn't get any opportunity so far. Like, you guys seem to be rolling all the wormholes. And I think your time zone is a little unique, right?
Yes,
Because,
time zone 10 can.
yeah, because you guys are not Chinese time zone, which is, I believe, at the moment the best time zone to hunt in. It's like till 1500, right? Let's say from downtime to 1500, and maybe from 09 to downtime, right? So that kind of time zone, that's busy as fuck. So you can find targets everywhere. But after 1500, it usually goes down. But that's where your time zone starts. But if someone would go hunt like we do, you wouldn't focus on that one group entirely. So that's why you probably have an easier time, because it's only you guys. So if I format, like, let's say 1600, there's only you, maybe XIX, maybe that's it probably already. Like, who else would I hunt that has like rockets out, right?
I'm Chinese.
The Chinese don't have like 1500. They pack their shit up, and that's fine. They only have subcap mining and subcap redding and stuff like this. Trust me, I checked. But I think that might be an advantage, actually, because that time zone is not so busy. So it's not worth it for me to announce a fleet and form big and then go out to then have like maybe one chance that's you guys, or two, maybe you and XIX. So that might be one of the reasons why, why that time zone works out for mining and stuff like this.
The main problem of this time zone, yes, this is time zone very strong when you defend on stuff, but all fighting in Euro time zone or US time zone, and you need to wake up. You need to play in really bad time for you. So yes, it is good and it is bad with this time zone to live in this time zone.
So it's going to be interesting for you guys if you want to deploy, right? Who are you going to hit?
I think you know who I can find in this time zone.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like, where, like, you can't, like, there's only a certain amount of people you can hit where you can actually get timers that you guys can follow up on.
Yes, I can't deploy into to attack aliens with Euro time zone or US time zone because it is really bad for me, because we need some targets in own.
So now I'm thinking, who could it be? I mean, did you guys like? So are you guys talking about like where could you like? Are you guys just throwing ideas around where you could deploy, or is the target already there? You know where you want to deploy it. You just don't know the details of when and how exactly you want to do it.
Yes, I know the place where we will deploy, but I don't know when, and I don't want to say, but I know where.
I know you don't want to say anything. I'm just, taking guesses. I mean, there's only a certain amount of targets that will make sense, I guess. Yeah, dank leaks. But yeah.
Now some guy spoke me and asked where you will deploy, where you will deploy.
And now you're stuck in combos again.
Yep.
What doctrines would be one of the decisions? Is what doctrines would you take, right? So let me guess. There's going to be mutants in there. And there's maybe gonna be Feroxes for a cheaper version. Like,
Honestly, I hate fucking minions. I died for fucking minions. I lead 6 months every day fucking. I didn't want take them. I delayed them from Aliens Doctrine, from Aliens Doctrines. So we
oh,
just delayed fucking because I'm really tired from them.
all right. So what doctrines are you
Yes,
gonna take then?
yes, they're nice, they're effective, but I hate them. I think about Sacrilege and maybe some Triglavian stuff like Chimeras and Bomber. And Sacrilege, MVD Sacrilege.
Because of Asher? Asher took
Because
sacrileges and you did quite well with them.
yes, they are nice, and Sacrilege and Cerberus. Sacrilege is mid-range armor doctrine, and Cerberus is long. Because without time dilation, they are really nice.
All right, sacrileges. Yeah, so we do try, like we're trying at the moment to fly zealots a little bit. They seem to be doing quite well actually. I haven't taken them out myself actually, did I?
Honestly,
Maybe
we
once.
start use Zealots 1 week ago. They are really nice in current meta, I think.
What do you mean with trying?
We
Shines.
start. We. What?
No, Shines just said it. What do you mean trying? Because I said we're trying to take out zealots. Well, we are taking out zealots.
We start use them 1 week. 1 week ago.
And how do they perform?
We hasn't get any fights now on the enemy blue balls.
Well, that's the story, right? That's the Eve. Haha, made you form. That's like
Yes,
that's at the moment. That's a big thing for like at the moment, and that's like Fate, Pure Blind conflict, right? Because we have to travel all the way up for them. Then they can adjust. They can make all the decisions, like if they want to engage or not. And then sometimes it's just like haha, made you form, right?
Yes. And this is really shit.
Yeah. It's like long term, I always say like you almost can't win a conflict like that. Like if you want, like if we wanted to, for example, beat hordes that are staged in Pure Blind, we would have to stage in Pure Blind. Like there's no way we can, even if they have only half the numbers, like they would create so much work for us that like long term we wouldn't be able to keep doing it. And then in theory, like, oh yeah, you have jump bridges, and then there's only so many mids. It's a lot of moving around like daily. It's gonna burn not only FCs out, but also pilots.
Yes, that's why if you're aggressive, you can choose when fight and where fight, and it is really good when you're aggressive.
Yeah, and you know what? We're happy that there's some fighting going on, right? I think it's always good that we have that option. Like, okay, our guys need a fight, and we can also take a bloody fight, But yeah, if it was a strategic value, I think we would have to stage up there. But it isn't. So.
Yep, I saw Horde reinforce 7 RM. I hope you win it on.
Say it again. What?
Pandemic Horde reinforce your IHAP in 7 RM on your Keepstar.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. And it was a fight. Is that the time of the day?
Yes, timer today. Sorry. I think timer was yesterday. So for this timer, I think it's really important timer for you.
Yeah, there's a Keepstar in 7 RM.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, what I always say is like, or what I said, like actually when they first deployed there, like I have to be open, like I have to be honest here, right? Like I said right away, like we shouldn't do anything about it unless they invest some real commitment. For example, reffing a Keepstar in 7 RM. That would have been like one way, and then we can go in and crush them with like full numbers. That's what I wanted to do. But now if they want to put in that work and ref a Keepstar, I'm totally fine with that. Then we can talk, So go ahead and ref the Keepstar. Should be interesting, I would guess, right? Because reffing the Keepstar, you know how it is, right? Reffing a Keepstar without Supers and Titans can be quite a struggle.
Yes, I remember how NC try ref in the Keepster and they can't do it because you doomsday them from Keepster and to finish this. And
Yeah. The Doomsday, I mean, let's be honest, the Doomsday should not hit subcaps, right?
yep.
Yeah. It's, I don't know what anyone was thinking there, but it's I mean, it's hard enough to pause a Keepstar with subs alone, right? So you can do like the carrier approach, you can send carriers in and like send fighters in. Those are defanged fairly fast, right? It doesn't take too long to defang those. But like if you want to do it with subs alone, there's a ton of subs. You need at least one full fleet to just like hit it and pause it and then kill it in an acceptable time, right?
Yes, and I think the Keepster is really unbalanced because Keepster really can't hit capitals or super capitals, and he really fucks with Doomsday.
You mean it can't kill?
Yes, it can't
Capitals?
kill supers or can't kill some
Right.
capitals.
Well, I think now it can. I mean, unless you have like a shit ton of faxes that it wrap out of triage, right?
Yep. Maybe after resistance nerf it can. I don't try it after resistance nerf. But when the war was on the north, I try kill from the Keepster some supers or some titans, and it is really.
Yeah. I mean, I could go on about citadels and keeps. I mean, that's just one issue, about citadels, I believe. But didn't CCP just say, like recently, they're looking into citadels a little bit more, and I think there's some asset safety changes coming and stuff like this, right?
Yes, they try to balance citadels and change everything, and I think soon citadels will be changes. Yes.
And like, do you think, like, do you agree when I say like citadels are maybe the number one issue in the game? The number
Yes,
one.
yes. It's really issue, my opinion. Without citadels, the game was more interesting, I think.
But what would you change about citadels if you have the magic power, your CCP Hanzo? What would you do?
I delayed all Astra House, I delayed all small citadels, and maybe only Fortizers and Keepsters. But Fortizer must cost more than fucking 10 billions, when my dog can go and buy it. It's really cheap structure.
I think that's probably a little bit controversial. Like, I'm not sure if I agree deleting all Astroses and Raitarus and Athanos, like, because they're too cheap. That might be a little bit too much, right? Maybe make Astra houses or smaller citadels more killable. I think that's
Yes, more killable and no teaser for Titans or Capitals. For Supers, okay. Only subs. That you can't breach from fucking Raitaro in enemies.
yeah. You know what? Thinking about it, you might be right, but I haven't thought about the whole bridging situation. I think that hasn't been a big issue, to be quite honest. I would love people to bridge more from my towers for obvious reasons, because I think that's very bumpable, right? So I think if the tether range was a little bit smaller, even you can just leave it and you would have the same effect. Nobody would be bridging from Altaros or Astros anyway, because it's so easy to bump. Just one Macarial could just bump your Titan out of tether. That's it, a dead Titan. So maybe that's more the way to go. A more organic approach to it, I guess.
Yes, it can be interesting, I think. If they do it, but they never do it, I think.
But what about like conflict drivers is also like a big point. Like, do you think like citadels they don't do they fill the role as conflict drivers, or like do you think there should be more reason to fight over citadels?
I think yes, it's need to be more reason because now it is really no some conflict drivers. No one won't fight for nothing because it is no reason to fight, my opinion.
But so you said the price tag of forts, but what else? Like what else would like make people fight more for citadels?
Yes, I think if citadels will be 1 second.
So how about removing tether altogether?
Yes. The citadels need to be changed. I think because it is too powerful, and it will be more fights for citadels if they will be less powerful. Because now, when you fight in citadel grid, you are really have got big bonus to do it. You can use some carriers, you can use some super titans.
But usually, I would argue like that's not usually what happens, though, right? Most Fortizer timers don't see like a group of carriers on the Fortizer and stuff like that. It's like it's fairly rare.
Yes, it is the problem that aliens not use capitals, but you must agree that it is really simple to use caps on Fortizers or use supers on Fortizers.
And Tao just says something, you know, that's another thing that like hopefully with the upcoming CSM they should like be aware at least. There's always another thing, right? There's always also low sec, right? So
low sec is different. We discuss now, I think, null sec.
Yeah,
not
I know.
sec.
I know. That's what, but you know, if you would remove or change citadels, I would change it for both spaces. So like we always have to be aware of that, obviously. But yeah, we're talking from a nullsec perspective. But yeah, I'm always trying to think about both, but I'm not a low sec player, so.
Yes, honestly, I hate low secs because I hate system names.
Why would you hate the system names?
Because for me, it is very difficult to read the system name. So you said fleet warp to some system, and with difficult name.
But like a G-O Q86, would that be easier?
Yes, it is more simple for me than fleet warp to Anka, fleet warp to Sasala, or something like this.
Why? That doesn't make any sense. If Lilyria...
Yes, Diana said system yes, this is.
That's a good example, yeah. There are named systems in some regions. I don't want to say it, but there are some named systems in NPC in nullsec region.
If be honest, my favorite system in nullsec is CCP Us. It is my favorite name of the system.
Where is that again? Is that not in branch? No, where is it again?
It is the clan. CCP Us.
CCP Us, yeah. There's a couple good ones. I can't think of any of them, but yeah, oh shit, that's probably my favorite. Oh shit. In Curse.
Oh shit, yes. Oh shit, yes.
Yeah, everyone calls it oh shit. There's a couple good ones. Yeah, you like. I wonder sometimes. There must be a couple nullsec systems where people like CCP interfered. You know, where like the random generator came up with a system and then they had to change it because it's like offensive or whatever. Like there's some real bullshit coming out of it, or maybe they changed it on purpose, like CCP us. You know.
I think they changed it manually.
Yeah.
My opinion.
In a couple cases,
but who knows?
I'm pretty sure in a couple cases that did. So you guys went Fountain. We did. We already talked about that when you decided to go north. But then also you were FCN already. Like Is there any FC maybe that like taught you a lot, or did you just like learning by doing, or like how did you start FC and or was there like an FC that taught you a lot of it?
I start FC from small fleets. I FC small fleets, some battle cruisers in nullsec, and then I try to lead more and more. My aliens growing, and I lead more and more fleets. And then in one day I decide maybe we can do multi-language fleet with darkness with Chinese, and we do it, and it worked really nice.
A multi-language fleet, yeah.
Yep, when you speak in Russian, then you speak in English, then someone translate to Chinese. It's really funny.
That's crazy. I remember one of our guys did a Swedish roam once, and Swedish and German is fairly close, I would say, like grammatically and stuff. It's very easy to learn. It feels like, at least. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong with that. Maybe Miranda, if she's here, she knows a lot about languages. But it seems like the same family, I guess. But like there was a Swedish room, and we just like I just joined it and Google translated. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So, and I got by surprisingly. It's not that hard. I mean, even when I did German roams for the Alliance, people joined that had never German in school or anything. But a lot of um a lot of the terms are just the same because you use the English terms anyway, right? Jump, warp, and all that stuff. And
Yep.
the system names are the same, obviously, right? So it's actually not that hard to follow a fleet on a different language, right?
Yes, but you have some phrases like a lion in Russian, it's mean разгон, and something like that you translate and tell this phrase several times. Honestly, in the end of the war, some Darkness FC start speak Russians. George from Emma Corp, he is in it mercenaries now. He knows some Russian words too. You can ask him, and he will teach you.
Yeah, I know George.
Yeah.
He was also one of the guys that I noticed defending rockets in Decline when we were going hunting.
Yes. He from fleets to save Rocos.
And you guys got crafty with it too. I have to give you guys credit because a lot of time when we were out hunting in Stukas, for example, a lot of people just gave up and just said, "Oh, it's OP," and they didn't even try. But you guys then actually brought some like corms and boosted around and stuff like this, or what else? I mean, the ramjacks were fucking nasty when you caught us. So you guys were always looking to actually counter what we were bringing and not just gave
Yes,
into it.
because I think it is always funny for both sides to have fights. It's not funny for you to come and kill one Rorqual, and it is not funny for us just not forming and see how you kill it. So you need to form and just fight. It is only pixels, I think. And the main thing is fun for both sides of pilots.
Yeah, you know what? I think the defenders always have that advantage. You don't have to form. You don't have to think about how to get there. You don't have to. I mean, you have to form. You don't have to like prepare or anything. You have to have your shit in order, right? Obviously, but you don't have to like wait ages, or you don't have the problem of blueborn. You don't have to travel there and all that stuff. So there's a lot of stuff from a normal fleet that
Yes,
falls away. You just have to form and get in system, and boom, you've got that fight already there, right?
yes, but many aliens, many FC just prefer blue ball or not. Okay, they kill one Rorqual, they go out, and we can continue mine and rating. And I think it is really bad stuff for this game.
Yeah, or like if when you still had that option, people would just drop like a bunch of titans and supers, right? I think right now it's not as much of an option because they have less EHP and stuff like this. So
Yes,
it's way
now,
more risky now.
yes, now if you drop them, you can lose these titans also.
Yeah. Would you agree that that change? What do you think about it?
I think it is really good changes. because as I see on your one of your stream, you kill one avatar. I don't remember the aliens, maybe horde, maybe, but without these resistance changes, you can't kill it. And now you can kill this stuff. And my opinion, the fight now is more interesting because ships has got less EHP.
Yeah, you know what? For Supers and Titans, the resist change is one thing, but then also, I mean, obviously the hit points from plates, right? You get less hit points from plates and shield extenders. That's a big change there. So combat fit Titans and Supers are actually killable, which is great.
Yes.
So in general, you would like what other recent changes do we have? Like, let me see. What about mineral changes or like the Haw guns on Titans or boson changes? Like,
about mineral changes, I think it is really good stuff, but nowadays the big empire like Goons, like Horde, like Test has got really much minerals now. And the small alliance on new alliance like mine, it hasn't got big mineral resources. So it fuck us more than fuck another big alliance.
So you mean they have those massive stockpiles and that doesn't hurt them as much?
Yes.
What I always wonder is then, so they're talking about Citadel changes, and I think one aspect that's really bad for the game, the way they implemented it, was asset safety, right? And it also plays a role there with your stockpiles. Like, if asset safety wasn't a thing, right? Let's just say, I don't think people would stockpile all that much stuff in the first place, and it would give other lines a chance to catch up by killing that stuff. You know what I mean? You can take it away if there's not 100% asset safety there, right? You could kill the place where all these stockpiles are, and then you can leave.
I think, my opinion, the half of stuff must drop it, like in Wormhole. Not full stuff, but half.
I totally agree. I mean,
half stuff go to asset safety and half stuff drop into space.
I totally agree. But there are some there's some cases where I believe, like, you have to think about, right? Let's not forget they implemented it with full asset safety, so you can't just turn the switch now and then players that might be returning later, they just find out, oh, half my shit is gone,
Yes, but Eva but Eve is not friendly game. It's game about pay. So if you lose your assets, it's your problem. It's not problem of the game, my opinion.
Yeah, you know what?
And when your assets is full safety, you honestly hasn't big reason to death for your structure, fight for your structure. Oh, okay, the structure died. I take my assets later from asset safety.
You know what? With a 50% drop rate, I think everyone who would return, or everyone who is playing, I mean, I think I could live with losing half my shit. Like, if you lose half your stuff, it's a difference. Like, we're not talking about everything should be dropping and like everything is gone. Like, that possibility shouldn't be there.
Only half, not full drop.
At the same time, though, it is a hard hit, right? 50%. And then also, like, so one argument is always, or one point that's always coming up in this discussion is, what about those returning players, right? Someone who cannot be around for like a certain amount of time. We've got a lot of military people, for example, in the Alliance, and they might just be deployed for like 6 months, 9 months, whatever, how long, depending on like what country you're in, I guess. So, and then these guys come back, and then they found out like they didn't have the chance, you know what I mean? So I always think like there must be a middle ground there somewhere that you can maybe pick a certain station where you say, this is my what is it called?
It's my home base.
Yeah, home base, headquarters, right? And then your assets would be safe in some way, right? I'm not sure how exactly you would implement it, because there's probably a lot of ways you could exploit it, and EVE players are crafty, so you have to do it right. But I
You
believe
have got 100 characters and 100 homestays.
yeah, exactly. So that's one of the ways you would see that as they're getting exploited. But at the same time, you could do it like, okay, you can't have that with a character. You can only have it like a home station for an alliance. Then you would have to create a thousand fucking alliances, which would already be hard. And then also you can only have one headquarter per
Yes, but
system,
it is
for
good.
example.
It is a good idea in chat. If you inactive for 2 weeks, your asset safety is full, or something inactive like months or 2 months. If you're
Yeah.
not logging into game
Yeah.
for 1 month, for 2 months.
Yeah, you might be. Yeah, that might be one of the ways. I mean, so my whole point is, I don't have like all the answers right now, but I believe if you put some smart heads in a room and you say this is your goal, right? Make it a fair way. I believe there is a way, right? I believe you can find certain mechanics to get around the problems that we talked about. Like, you can't just drop everything, obviously, right? We're talking 50% here. And you should not hit the guys that might just be returning old players or whatever, right? So you shouldn't punish
Yes.
people for being
Yes,
away from the
but
game.
but in past, all your assets blocked on station because station changes the, and you can never take your assets. And everyone play in this game, and no one care about it. You can back to game in 6-9 months, and your station just belong to your enemies. And you can undock, but you can't dock, and your assets now close for years, for months, for all time. No one knows.
Yeah, that's how it used to be. Or what do you mean?
I mean, until Citadels and until a saved safety, you have all your assets on station in space. And station belongs to your aliens. If you go AFK for 6-9 months and back, and then station belong to your enemies, your assets is closed. You lose all your assets.
Yeah, technically you couldn't. I mean, you didn't lose them. You didn't have access to them.
Yes,
Right?
technically yes, but you hasn't got assets. You can't take them. You can't use them.
Yeah, but there was ways around that too. Right? Let's not forget there was ways to weasel your assets out, with contacts in the other lines, with a spy,
Yes.
all that stuff. So what I like about the 50% drop rate is there's an incentive then for players to go kill shit. And then the guys on, it's not only the FC that understands exactly the impact of a certain Citadel kill, but the fleet gets to, see some stuff drop and loot some stuff. And it's just that feels more like you got something done. You know what I mean? Like, and you can see, okay,
Yes,
they
it
actually
will
did
be
stuff.
interesting.
It would be a different thing, definitely, yeah. And what was the other point here? Asset safety shouldn't exist. Yeah, I think I agree. But I mean, now we have it. You have to make it work somehow. And then people would move stuff to NPC nullsec. I agree, that would probably happen, but there's an advantage to not having NPC nullsec in your area, right? So it's way safer if you don't have NPC nullsec close to you. So now you have to think about, okay, now you want NPC nullsec close to you, right? So there's a nice dynamic there, I feel like, right? So it's a risk and reward again, right? Or not reward, but risk and use, I guess, for NPC stations close by. So I think I would like it anyway. But yeah, what else about Citadels? What else do you think is important about Citadels that people need to talk about, or CCP needs to think about? Is there anything else? I mean, the defenses you were talking about.
Yes, I think Keepstar must be more powerful against capitals and supercapitals and less powerful against.
Against subs.
Yes.
But what about the damage cap? That's like always the biggest hurdle when it comes to keepsters.
Honestly, I hate fucking damage cap. Because when you reinforce fucking Astra House during half an hour, it is really shit, man. It's small structure that cost 400 million, and you shoot it half an hour and just reinforce it into first reinforce.
Yeah, you know
It's
what?
really long time to reinforce small citadel. Very, very.
I do 100% see that point. I do not know. I'm not sure if I agree 100% though. Because I do like the damage cap for certain situations, right? For example, if someone hits our structure, I do know I do have 20 plus minutes. I know I've got 20 plus minutes. I can make it. So if I
Yeah.
wouldn't know, I probably would, like, a lot of times would just say like, oh, we can't reach it in time anyway. Or GG,
Yes.
like you can't even form.
Damage cap is good on Keepster. Damage cap is good maybe on Fortizars. But damage cap on small citadels, it's very, very bad deal.
Oh, you might be right there, actually.
Yes, because you reinforce Astra House, Fortizar, and Keepstar in same time. If have enough DPS.
Yeah, you might be right. One of the dynamics with posses was always, like, a large posse had so much hit points to go in with like dreads and do it in one cycle, which is 5 minutes. You needed a ton of dreads, which is a lot of risk. And we caught a couple dread bombs, or you don't want to call it dread bombs, I guess. Dread groups reinforcing a structure. We caught a few of these that try to do that to us, right? If you are on point, you know where to look for them, and you see them undock, you can get there within 5 minutes. You can form and get there. So like a group that can form that quick, a well-sizable fleet, to deal with it. I mean, they can get a couple dread kills there for sure, right? So I think that's a good dynamic. It's a good middle ground, I think, for small citadels. If that would be coming back.
Yep, I am agree with this. Really agree.
All those Titan kills in Great Wildlands, yeah, I remember. We had bosses in Great Wildlands, and there was like a certain group of people trying to grind those down slowly with supers and Titans. But yeah, there's no point for, like, now you do it with like 3 LSH. Yeah, NSH.
He speak about NSH.
Sorry, say it again.
Yes, I understand. I just asked about what titans you discuss.
Yeah, and then you can do that with a small group of Leshaks now, right? You do that with 2 Leshaks or 3 Leshaks, I don't know. And you can already, grind that stuff down, but you have to do it 25 minutes.
Yes, you do it 25 minutes.
Yeah.
And I think it is super long for small citadels.
You know what? I think that would be the first, like a good first step from CCP if they would just remove damage cap from small citadels. Or like, I think they call them medium citadels, right? It's medium, large, and extra large.
Yes.
So, yeah. So they call it
They can't not remove them, but they can make the damage cap bigger. That you reinforce small citadel like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Not insta reinforce, but 10 minutes. I think it's enough. I think for small.
Yeah, you might be right.
Medium, not small. And about small, you try to reinforce Cina Jammer.
You try to reinforce what?
You try to reinforce Cina Jammer now, this structure.
Yeah.
It's really, really shit to reinforce. You spend much time to reinforce it.
And it's a lot of times it's in keepster range, right?
Yes, it is in keepster range. You spend much time to reinforce it, and it's really powerful structure.
And you can still have 3 of them in one system.
Yes, in the past you can just log in dreads and kill it in one cycle, and now you spend half an hour to reinforce this jump to offline it.
Yeah, I agree. It shouldn't be in Keepstar Range either. It should be a structure on its own, just in space.
Yes,
And
but if in
yeah.
you still spend much time, and in time dilation, it's really, really shit.
Yep. Yep. Damage cap, asset safety. I still believe the Citadel defenses, how they are, like they should be active unless the Citadel is getting attacked, but it's just for the small scale kind of stuff. You can warp to it, you don't get PDS and DD'd and shit like this, right? That's the idea. And pinned down, right? So the Citadel only helps you in fights about the Citadel, where it's reft, instead of, being that all-round, like, super safe thing. So you could warp to a Keepstar and just start bumping people. Be fun.
Yes.
You would die
Yes,
most of the time. But yeah.
Maybe you can activate guns only when Citadel attack. It will be not bad.
Yeah, well, so there's like, obviously, whenever I talk about that, people say like, oh, then people would start hitting their own Citadel. Yeah, we're talking about like if 10% of shield is missing and stuff like this, right? So you would have
Your
like
gun
ways to
activate.
get around that. But yeah. What other recent changes did we have? No more support fighters on supers. Quite nice, I believe.
Yes, I think this will be really nice, but now Supers has 4 fighter bombers and they kill dreads very fast, super fast.
Yep.
With extra.
But I mean, I haven't seen it as much yet, but probably not that bad, right? And then we have new implants. Did you get your guys into shield supers yet? Because you're in legacy.
Yes.
So
my supers was shield in attack at the nose, and now we are
so
all our shield titans by Nirvana set. My 2 titans still without Nirvana set.
so you told your guys all to get Nirvana sets, yeah?
Yes. All of our titans has high grade Nirvana set.
Nice. Yeah.
But I still not buy it for myself.
Because you're poor.
No, because I'm lazy.
Well, you don't use Titans all that much at the moment anyway, right?
As I know, no one use Titans now.
Yeah, everyone's a bit scared.
Yes, you not use these Titans in Pure Blade War. No one use Titans now. No one drops them to home defense now.
Yeah, I believe if there's a dread bomb of 100 dreads, you can have probably 100 Titans, and you would still lose 1 or 2 Titans before you kill all the dreads.
Yes.
So the dread bomb will always trade well. If there's 2 Titans on field and you have 100 dreads, you can feel them, and you will trade well, no matter what. Really, right?
Yes, I agree with you. And now Shield Titans are more powerful than armor because Shield Titans has got more EHP than.
Yeah. That is also true. I mean, it's not a whole lot of EHP more, but yeah. It is. You know what? Have you seen the trailer? And what do you think about that one ship? Have you seen the trailer?
Yes, I see the trailer.
They have that one weird ship there with the lasers, with the bouncy, like the DD thing.
I saw we discuss this ship in our chats, and I hope it will be some ship to kill fucking anchor.
To kill fucking what? Anchor?
Anchor fleets who use anchor.
You know what? That is exactly what I thought too. Like every fleet that just counts on just being anchor, they will have a disadvantage there. Yeah.
Yes, because you use the ship, you shoot in anchor, and all your fleet die. Or
Well,
has big DPS.
Maybe not all of it, right? But yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to that one. I'm curious what that's gonna be, but it's gonna be expensive first of all, right? So
We'll
let's see.
Maybe CCP not add this ship to game.
Oh, you think they don't add it, maybe?
They want to add fucking faction Angel Titan many years, and they still don't. And how much years they want to add Shield Slave? 5 years or 6 years? I didn't remember.
Well, but they did it. The thing is, they never had a ship displayed in a trailer and then not do it. They didn't put it on a trailer and said we will do this and then go back from it. It's not like the heavy fighter bombers or the heavy, not the heavy fighter bombers, the heavy bombers, right? Because they, like, I could tell right away when they mentioned it. It was more like yeah, we're thinking about this. Like, I know you guys get excited for this, so here I have some food, you know. And everyone was like, "Oh yeah, heavy bombers." And I was like, I was skeptical right away, and I don't think it's ever gonna happen, to be quite honest.
Yes.
So I think that ship is gonna come 100%.
Yes, we'll see how it will work.
And was there anything else in that trailer? If I don't remember, there was only lore stuff in there, I think, right? Or have we? Or is there anything we should be talking about there? What else do I have on my list here? Let's see. So actually, we're approaching 1.5 hours, which is actually what I'm now gonna be aiming for always. Like, I think that's the sweet spot. Maybe the last question. If anyone in chat has a good question, put it in chat. But the last maybe 2 questions. How would you rate on rating to 10 the general direction the game is going at the moment? Right, the last couple of months. What would you give it, like a rating between 1 and 10?
I think game is more interesting now. They try change something, they try change meta, they try change ships, but they need do it more aggressive, I think. Because they try to change fucking Union from December, as I remember, and Union still actual. Union still good.
But they
They
did
need nerf ships more.
they did some aggressive moves like Blackout. Remember?
Honestly, Blackout was really interesting sport, but I really not like how they realized they can do some delay in local or something like this, but not offline local.
Tiana's asking, does Hanzo play Overwatch?
No, no.
You get asked, you get a question a lot. Because Hanzo is a character in Overwatch. Yeah, you could have played with us. Actually, I haven't played in ages. Maybe I should play Overwatch again. But I always get a little bit angry when it comes to Overwatch. I don't like myself when I'm playing Overwatch. I get too angry. But yeah. They got Hanzo's name from Hanzo Viper. That is true. That's probably what they did.
No. I create this character until Overwatch release, as I remember.
No. Yeah. He's saying, like, they stole your name, not the other way around.
Yes. Fucking Blizzard.
So what's your rating? When you say, like, the general direction, the last couple patches, what do you say? Rating between 1 and 10?
What do you mean?
Like, so, like, if you have to give it a rating of the general direction CCP is going with the game right now, like in general.
I think in general it is right direction, if you ask about this.
Yeah, but if you have to put a number on it, because I'm like, that's what I'm asking every guest at the moment, to just get an idea.
Idea to CCP?
Well, I'm pretty sure I know CCP is also watching these, right? So they might be interested too. But yeah, just to, it's a little bit more accurate data, So if you have to put a number on it, between 1 or 10, what number would you put on it?
6, I think.
A 6?
5.
That's like average, I would say. All right.
I think they need to do more aggressive things in games change.
Yeah, I agree. I 100% agree. Like when it comes to asset safety and so on, right? Like we talked about.
They are too slow. They change game too slow.
Yeah, I mean, yes, they change it too slow, too. But like, I mean, they only have so much dev power, right? They only have so many guys working on it. And like, for example, a CCP Rise, those are rare. Like, it's not like every dev there can do everything, right? Like when it comes to balance and so on, there's only so many devs that can actually do it with real competence when it comes to gameplay, right? Not all of those devs know exactly when like what to do with like Munin speed, Munin optimal range, all that kind of stuff, right? There's only so many devs that can decide that. So I think that's pretty normal. But yeah, they need to
Yes, I agree with this.
yeah change, like make more impactful changes. Yeah. So we talked about that stuff. Is there maybe anything that you like that we didn't talk about? What you would want to like put out there, maybe for CCP to hear even that need to be addressed, or like that we talk about the number one issues already.
I hope only in one thing that CCP will continue change the game and will do it faster. Because everyone wants that games change. Everyone more action, some more action, some more targets to shoot, targets to doing, some more stimul to play.
All right. And then a question from chat: Does Hanzo is having same fun? All right. Are you having the same amount of fun on coalition comms that you had in GOTG? You're probably not on coalition comms at all, right?
We hasn't got really coalition comms now because I try to form own fleets from own aliens. And I not lead common fleets from all coalition now. I try to lead only my aliens fleet. So no, I hasn't got fun from coalition.
Oh, and a question I overlooked Daddy Deep. So with the trick dread, should there be a trick Force Recon? I guess so. I mean, maybe not really. Maybe. Like, I don't know what it would do, right? But yeah, technically there could be trick everything. I think they're working on that.
Yes, as I know, but Jiglive and Jet is not really good.
No, it sucks.
Yes, it sucks. I has got one BPC and I still can't sell it. Do you want to buy
No thanks. No thanks.
I can sell you to you super cheap.
Well, if it's cheaper than a rev, we can talk. But it has to be cheaper than a rev because it's worse than a rev.
I can sell it right. I can sell it you right now for one ISK.
For one ISK?
Yes. Only now, only to...
For one ISK, I take it.
Okay, give me a second.
No, you don't do it.
I will do it. I'll log in.
How much is a BPC? That's way too expensive. Someone's betting 2 ISK.
2 ISK now. Only one ISK to open the
How much is it to build? I'm gonna build that thing and then we're gonna whelp it on stream. How about that?
Yes, it will be interesting.
I had my first raw call lost the other day. What was it, 2 days ago or so? I took a raw call out solo. And I'm rusty as fuck. Like when it comes to solo stuff, that's a whole different thing, right? There's so much of a difference between FCing and solo. I used to do a lot of solo battleships and all that stuff, which is very very similar to like a raw call, I would say. But I went in there like, oh, and then you realize like there's a whole lot of things, and then you get muted and all that stuff. There's a, you know, it's a
Okay,
way
contracts
different
up.
thing. You
Gonna
kidding?
separate.
I'm gonna check right now. You sure you don't want it? Yeah.
Yes,
I'll
yes, yes.
build
You can separate.
All right. Let me take a
And
screenshot.
after stream, we discuss the real price.
All right.
It was joke.
Thanks a lot.
If you will put on stream, it will be.
I will. I'm gonna fit it up. But you know what? Actually, now that I took the thing, I have to skill into it first, right? I don't even have the skills. But at the moment, I'm not skilling for anything anyway.
You need only Triglavian Battleship, and that's all. It's no book for Triglavian Dread.
Chance is complaining. He was the one saving your Titans. Hey, I was there too. You know who lit the Sino? That was me. Right. Who had the Sino, shiny boy? It's all about that Insino. You know it. And I saved some GOTG Titans way before that. And we weren't even blue. There you go. But yeah, guys, if you have any other questions, put them in. Other than that, I would say, Hanzo, thanks a lot for coming on. It was nice chatting to you. It has been a long time since we talked, right? And I hope you get your guys well recovered. And it seems like you guys have recovered. So if you're already looking at deploying, please don't deploy to Fountain. And I wish you good fortune in the wars to come.
Yes, thank you for inviting me for this conversation. I really had some fun. It was my first English-speaking interview, so yes, thank you much.
Alrighty. Then, guys, if you want to get notified about stuff, the schedule and all that stuff, join the Discord. Other than that, I would say thanks for watching and see you guys on the next one. Oh yeah, and thanks for the subs, guys. I think I skipped, I missed one. Moon2K3. Thanks a lot. And see you guys on the next one. And it's going to be 2100 again, right?